Okay, so this is a quick tutorial on how to wire up your BRZ lights, or if you bought BRZ lights, to a base model FRS that doesn't come compatible originally with the BRZ wiring. So I will show you in depth on how to wire the 6-pin to the 8-pin. I just bought the little connectors. I'll show you what parts and everything, how to wire up your signal. I did extra and I wired up my fog light directly into the parking lights. So that's basically it. So let's just go into depth about it. Okay, so here's one thing. You will need this part number 90980-10897, and that is your little housing. That is this. This is a female connector that connects into the 8-pin of the BRZ light. So if you can see, the BRZ light has 7 pins, right? But it has an 8-pin connector. Our FRS have 6-pin connectors. So we want to get rid of this and we want to use these. And these go in perfectly and they fit perfectly. I'm not going to clip it because it's a pain in the ass to get out. Okay, so first thing you want to do is not take off your front bumper. You want to try out the wiring first. So I will show you what goes where. So you can't really see it here yet, but I'm going to show you on the other side exactly how it should be diagrammed. And I'll put a link in the description on how, like, what goes where, so it should be easier. Colors should correspond as well, so like if I say blue, it should be blue on your FRS as well. After you're done connecting all that stuff, you always want to try the wiring. You always want to, make sure that everything's working like it should be, right, before you put anything back on. So, okay, so BRZ wiring always comes the same way, so we're not even going to mess with this wiring, okay? We're not going to take out the wiring from the housing, because that's a standard way. We're not going to mess with that. We're going to mess with the wiring inside the car. So, if you can see here, you might want to pause it. Right here, first tab is blue. Second one is black and white. Third one is white and blue. Last one is just pure white. Bottom one is, bottom left hand is, or bottom passenger hand is black. Second to last, under the black and white wire, is another red wire, right? And that one comes directly from, the where all this wiring is at. And then this last wire is just a signal that I took from down here, right? I took the wiring from the signal itself, and I brought it up here. So that's what's feeding, that's what's powering the wire, the signal. So those are your tabs. So, and make sure that your connector is exactly how it should be. So I made the mistake of putting in the tabs, the pins the first time, and they were in the upside down order when I tried to put the BRZ light on. So make sure that this part, this little hinge up here, is always facing up, and then you can start putting in the wiring from there. So blue, black and white, yellow, blue, white and blue, white, black, red, and then signal red. Yes, alright, so we've already assembled that one back together. It's just standard take out, take in, put your headlight back in. I did some extra wiring down here. This is just to the fog light. You guys don't have to do this. I just wired it straight into there. And if you look inside here, you can see the other wiring. So you can see the other wiring right inside your squeeze, and there it is, plugged in directly into the BRZ light. You got blue, black and white, blue and white, solid white, signal red, daytime running light red, and then another black under this one. So all in order. That's the way it should look. That's the way yours should look, and it should work. Okay. So I'm just gonna take off the other headlight now. So what I want to do first is unplug everything. I had really janky wiring back then, so I'm gonna do all the unplugging, right? And then we're gonna have to disconnect the pins inside here. So we want to take out these pins, right? And we want to put in the other connector. So it's already recording. Alright, so with this one you need probably 2 hands. I mean not 2 hands, 2 people. So first you're gonna have to lift this tab. It cooperates. And we want to lift this tab so it comes off. This is the tab that locks in all your pins. And we want to get, oh my god, not cooperating, of course not. Woo. Alright, so just like that, you take off the tab. Right, and we want to take it off completely so then we can take off our pins. And here it is, tab off, and now we can mess with our 6-pin wire. Okay, so now we're going to be removing these pins down here, right? And we're going to remove one at a time, so you can't really see it too well, but there's a tab. Here's a pin where it goes inside, and there's another tab on the bottom. And what you want to do, you want to pull down on that tab and push in on the pin so it releases from the back. So I'm gonna pull down on this pin, and then my brother's gonna push out on the pin behind it with a nail, and he pushed out, and then he pulled it out, and you can see that the tab got released from the back, and you can just pull out. So you want to do that with all 6 pins, okay? Okay, so when you're pulling down pins, it's these little tabs right here, right? They almost look like they lock in. So you want to pull down on those all together. You push maybe a really small flathead, right? And you want to push it into these and then pull down and then push the pin back from the hole. So you push it back and then it releases from behind over here. So take off your headlight. You know, you wanna there's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts. So this one's a clip, and these ones are 10mm bolts. So you wanna take off these bolts, right? So you know, you want to just unscrew them, and then you take them off. Just like you normally would. And that's pretty much it. And when you take it off, you're taking off the black housing, well, the headlight itself, and the black housing, remember that you have to put in the headlight into the black housing so that the headlight is low battery. So here's the signal wire. You can see, maybe focus this, there's like tabs under. Those are I'm going to be untabbing. Here's the red wire from the signal that's going to be going into these. It's going to be going into these, and then this black and green wire that are left from the signal lights are going to be my parking lights. So They're gonna plug into these, which is my fog light down here. It has a halo and whatnot. So I disconnected the signal wire. Here's positive for the parking, ground for the parking, or negative, whatever. And this is a signal wire that's gonna be going connecting to these points as well. So to connect, to get that wire up there, you're gonna need to cut this off. This has to be cut off. This red shrink wrap, whatever it's called, or heat sink, yeah. And that's gonna be connected up here. So, all right. So this one was a little bit more difficult. I'll put a thing in the description as well for this one. Okay, so starting with the top side, it's solid red, black and white, white and red, white and silver, white with like silver like dots, and you have to make sure that it's this one. I made the mistake of switching this white wire and the other white wire that's under down here, and it didn't work the first time around, and then I had to rewire it, repin it. I had to pull this thing back, this tape back, just to make sure that I'm getting it right. And you should do the same. Black wire on the bottom of this white and silver, solid white under right here, solid white. It might have like a little dirtiness, but that's solid white. And then this one's my signal wire that I still have yet to wire up down here. But that's basically it. And then I'll show you the completed progress and what it looks like with the bumper back on. Don't forget to put on all your bolts and clips and whatnot. I still haven't put on this one. I still haven't put on the one on the side here. I still haven't put on the two on the side here. So and then if you're doing any fog light wiring like I am, make sure that you like zip tie things. I'm zip tying things over here, like to this hole, so it doesn't make such a mess down there and whatnot. So just make sure you do something like that. All right. And then we're almost done with the install. So that's basically it. That's my brother. He's been helping me with wiring and whatnot. So wear gloves too, so this doesn't happen to you. But yeah, I'll be back. So here's the completed product. Basically, I lost a clip in the making, but what are you gonna do? I can just buy another one. No big deal. But you can see all the wiring, nice and flush right here. I should probably put this back in this tab. Nice. Alright, so nice and flush. Bumper, that's always going to be an issue, but pretty good. I do say so myself. For the first time installing, so there it is. BRZ headlights and an FRS. Not done too often, but yeah. Alright, so my brother's gonna do the big reveal. Turn the e-brake off. Put the e-brake down. Okay, so you can see that there's no daytime running light. Whatever. I'm gonna end up doing that, making a boomerang. So that's good. And high beams. So yeah. And then low beams. And then put the hazard. Yep. You can see that? I disabled those completely. They work without him. Okay, put it back to parking. And there's the big reveal. They look really nice. So the install is done. Here are the BRZ headlights, different now. Fog lights. Brother, thank you for helping.